guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I am going to be sharing with you how I do my kind of like go-to everyday makeup. It's a little bit glam but also very natural, and speaking of natural, all of the products that I use for makeup are non-toxic. They don't have any scary ingredients in there, and that is just the way that I like it. I am such a makeup junkie. I have always been obsessed with makeup and just like cosmetics in general, and I was a hoarder and would collect so many products, all of which, you know, were filled with toxins. I had no idea, and like almost 2 years ago I decided to start slowly switching out all the products in my life, and makeup was a tough one. It was one of the last ones that I started to do the ditch and switch on because I just loved my makeup. You know, I was comfortable with the products that I used. They had great color payoff and they worked and they lasted, and I loved them. But you guys, I have been so pleasantly surprised with going on this whole natural makeup journey. I thought I was just gonna have to wear like a BB cream and like call it a day and like not be able to like still get the same look I like going for, but I could not have been more wrong, you guys. There are so many great brands out there that are committed to having clean products that aren't full of junk that's soaking into our pores and getting into our bloodstream. And like I said, I've just been so pleasantly surprised. I love everything that I use. I have no like qualms about switching. I have no reason to ever go back because everything works really well, and I feel like I found a really good like collection of products that I just am obsessed with, and they work and I know I can count on them. But yeah, if you have not looked into your makeup yet, you guys, I know it's like one of those things we're like kind of attached to our beauty products, but there is some gross stuff in there, guys. I mean, formaldehyde, mineral oil, which is like a petroleum byproduct, sometimes even mercury and lead, which is just like really crazy. Phthalates are another one. Fragrance a lot of times is in cosmetics now, like chocolate flavored bronzer and things like that. So you gotta be careful because this stuff is getting into our bloodstream because we're putting it right on our skin, and it can, you know, increase cancer risk. It can mess with our hormones, which is a huge one for me. I do not want my hormones being messed with. I like my cycle to be regular and normal because a lot of the times they're endocrine disruptors. They can also mess with our immune system and our respiratory system. Just look into it, guys. Do some research, and what you will find is not so great. But the great news is there are plenty of brands out there that are committed to not having all of that junk, and you will be able to find some really great replacements, and I promise you, you will not miss your old makeup. That is my little non-toxic living spiel for the day. I will leave it at that, but let's get right into the tutorial. Okay guys, so let's just jump right in. I have no makeup on my face right now, so we're going to get started. So the very first thing I do is I put on a little bit of foundation, and I actually have been using mineral foundation for a long time now. This is from Savvy Minerals. I use the color W2, and it just comes in this little pot, and I just put a bunch of powder in the lid, and then what I do is I go in with the what is this, the misting spray, and I just get my brush like decently wet, and then I just start kind of dipping it in the powder and swirling it around my face. And this is really buildable, so I actually use a pretty decent amount. I just love, this is like literally one of the cleanest makeup like that I've seen. No ingredients whatsoever that are questionable, and it like really works. I get it from Young Living, and I used to never like mineral makeup. I tried Bare Minerals years ago and I just wasn't a fan, but I actually am really surprised at how much I love this. So I just go ahead and I just continue to like add powder and get my brush wet again as needed, and I just go all around my face and just kind of swirl it on. And it adds like a pretty, I mean, it's definitely lighter coverage, but once everything else is on, like I get concealer and bronzer and blush, it is the prettiest finish. Like you can still see my skin, but it's definitely like finished and evened out, and I just really love it. Okay, so next is concealer, and this is the concealer that I use. It's from Hint Beauty. It's their Duet Perfecting Concealer. I have the color Light, and then I just go in with a like concealer brush, and I just go underneath of my eyes in a V shape just to cover up any darkness that I have, and then also just like really brighten up my under eye area. So I go all underneath, and then I'll bring it in on like the inside of my nose, all underneath of my eyes, and then I like to put just a teeny bit up on my eyelid So that will cover up any redness, any veins that are kind of peeking through, and it also kind of just gives my eyes like a nice little base for eyeshadow. And then once all of the concealer is on around my eyes, I go in with a little beauty sponge and I just tap, 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 tap to blend it all out. And this also helps make sure it's not like, oh, excuse my phone. Make sure that it's not like creasing, and then I will go in and set it. Okay, so now I'm gonna set it. You can see the difference between this eye and this eye. It is so much more lifted and bright, and I just love the way that it looks. It really doesn't take any time at all, and I feel like it just totally transforms your look. But I do like to set it with powder to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere throughout the day. So I'm just using another one of those Savvy Minerals foundations. This is the Warm 1, so it's just one shade lighter, and I literally just take my beauty sponge, I just dip it in the powder like this, and then I just go in and set all underneath of here. And this will make sure that it doesn't budge. It also just kind of mattifies it a little bit. And then I like to go in on my eyelid with this little Real Techniques kind of fluffier brush, and I'll just dip a little powder, or dip it right into the powder and kind of swirl it around in the lid just to get it like nice and distributed on the brush, and I just tap it over my eyelid to set that area as well. Okay, so I went ahead and did my other under eye area, and we're almost done with concealer, so I just like to tap a little bit on my brush and go down my nose, and then also bring a little bit on my forehead and chin as well. So this just kind of highlights these areas. This also helps cover up on my nose, especially just cover up any redness that I have, and it just kind of, since my under eyes are so bright, I feel like I have to kind of finish it off. It just looks better, in my opinion, if I hit the other areas of my face as well that I want to be like highlighted and bright, and it doesn't take long at all. So once I get all of that on, I look a little crazy, I just blend it out really, really quickly. And then I will set it the exact same way that I did with my under eyes with that just Warm 1 foundation. I'll just dip it right in and set it, and we'll be good to go. Now for my favorite step, I'm going to be moving on to bronzer. So this is another Savvy Minerals product. This is called Summer Loved, I think is the name. Yeah, Summer Loved. So it's just like the perfect super warm bronzy color, and it's very, very buildable. So I will just kind of dip this big fluffy, all my brushes are from Sigma. This is the large powder brush. I just kind of dip it into the bronzer to get a decent amount on there because I like a lot of bronzer. See, like that. And then I will just tap off the excess in here, and then I'll just keep going back in there to dip. And then I go on all of the outsides of my face. So I will go on my cheekbones, I will go all up in here just to get it all nice and warm and bronzy, go all across the top of my forehead, and then over here as well. And I kind of like to pack it on because I like to be pretty bronzy. That's just the look that I really love. So I will really just hit all of those areas, and you can see it really just like kind of starts to bring everything to life, warm up your skin. And I also like to go all underneath of my jawline as well to kind of carve that out, and also it just helps all the other bronzer just kind of mesh together, look more natural. So go all under here, and then I will take it down my neck as well, like that. And then whatever is left over on this big powder brush, I just run it down my nose just the littlest bit, because I think it just helps pull everything together, and it makes you just look more sun-kissed instead of having this big like white concealer nose in the middle. But I don't like to go in with too much product because I just don't like the way that that looks if my nose is like too highlighted or too contoured or anything like that. Yeah, so bronzer is done. I feel like it just gives such like a warm, healthy glow. I love that bronzer. But before I put it away, I'm just gonna take this like fluffy eyeshadow brush and just kind of dip it in there, swirl it around, get some product on there, and then I will actually use this up in my crease and just quickly fluff it around just to define my eye. I just think it looks so much better. Even if I don't do eyeshadow, I will do this, and I just love using bronzer because it's right there. It's handy. It's one less product that you need. You don't need like a warm brown eyeshadow technically. And it makes such a difference. I don't know if you guys can tell the difference. It just really helps define everything, and I just like the way that it looks. Time to pop on some blush. So this is the color I am going to be using. This is one of my favorite blush colors. It is the shade Pretty Naked, and this is from 100% Pure. I love their makeup as well. They have a lot of good stuff. So I'll just swirl this is a Real Techniques brush, around in here, and I just start to apply it to the apples of my cheeks. So this is another good non-toxic makeup brand. They have a lot of products, and they also have a bronzer I really like. It's like their Cocoa Glow, I think is the bronzer that I have. I like that one a lot as well. And I just love this blush because it's like a really pretty pink, peachy neutral, and it just is good for really any makeup look. I really like it. So for eyes, I don't typically do a whole lot. A lot of times I will just stop right here. I will just throw that bronzer up in my crease and call it a day for my eyes. But if I want to take it a step further, sometimes I'll do like a pretty like pink eyeshadow, or I'll just do like a neutral to brighten things up. My favorite pink eyeshadow ever it's called Crushin'. It's by Savvy Minerals. It's like a really pretty pink color. But sometimes I just like to brighten things up. So I'm going to use, this is called Diamond Dust. This is also from Savvy Minerals. And I just kind of dip my finger in there and get some product, as you can see. And then I will literally just tap it on my eyelid, and I'll focus it on the front, or like the inner part of my eyelid, because that's really where I want to brighten things up. And I don't know, I really like it. It's just like a really neutral, kind of like a vanilla, like a cool toned vanilla eyeshadow, and it's just really pretty. I also like to do the same thing, just dip a little bit in to the powder, and I like to tap the inner corners of my eye just to brighten that up as well. That's another hack that can make your eyes look more open and awake, is if you really highlight that little inner corner. Okay, so once my eyeshadow is on, a lot of times I will go in and do a winged liner. So I actually use powder for my liner, and I have for a while now. I like it so much more. It's so much more forgiving. It is 10 times easier, and it kind of gives you more of like a smudgy, not so harsh liner, like as sharp, which I just really like that look. It's softer, and I'm just a fan. So I use, this is again Savvy Minerals. This is called their, it's called the Jet Setter eyeliner, and it's just a matte black powder. Any powder will work, but this one is like super rich and dark. I love it. Okay, so I zoomed you guys in so you can really see what I'm up to. I'll show you how I apply it. It literally is foolproof if you do it this way, and I never mess it up when I used to mess up liquid liner all the time. So I use a brush just like this. It's just a little flat shadow brush, and this is like the key. So I will just take the lid that has powder on it, and I will just kind of swirl it around in there to get some powder on there. And this is what you do. So you want your eyeliner to follow the exact line of your lower lash line. You don't want it coming out straight like this. It's gonna make your eye look a little funky. You actually want it to come up like this. It's really gonna lift up your eye. So what I do is, once I have a little bit of powder on there, I will literally just go in and put my brush along, not pressing it down, but put my brush along my lower lash line. And then I just kind of like scoot it up to where I want it and press down to create a line, just like that. So you can see that there's now a line, and it is perfect because it's just in line with my lash line. Super easy. So I'm just gonna get a little bit more powder on here. And then what I'll do is just take that brush and create the rest of the wing by just pressing down, just like that. And then I just go all the way towards like the inner third of my eye, and then I stop there. It's seriously that easy, you guys. It takes 2 seconds. It's foolproof. If you do mess it up, powder is so easy just to smudge right off. And then what I like to do is just go in with my fingernail. I've done this trick forever, and I just kind of drag it along the bottom. Let me make sure I'm actually doing it. I like to drag it along the bottom of the powder just to ever so slightly flick out that wing so it has like the perfect taper, and it will always look good if you do it that way. All right, now while I have you in this close, I'm also going to do my brows. So the very first thing I will do is I will just take a spoolie brush and just really quickly brush through my brows so they are fully fluffed up and brushed out and how I like them. And then I'm gonna go in with my brow pomade. So this is from Hint Beauty, same company as the concealer. Totally non-toxic. I love this stuff, you guys. It works so well. I have the color Taupe, and I'm just a big fan of a brow pomade because I feel like it blends really well, but it's a little bit like sharper and more hair-like than just a straight old powder, which can be pretty flat and not have as like much dimension. So I'm a big fan of this brow pomade. So what I do is I take this little teeny tiny eyeliner brush. I feel like this is the key because you can make little hair-like strokes. So I'm just kind of, I swirl it around in here, and then I start by working on the tail of my brows. So I will just go in and fill in this bottom section, and I just do little strokes. I never like hold it all the way down, just little strokes because it makes it look more like hair. And then I will fill in my arch. Again, just little strokes. And you can see it already makes such a difference. My brows have grown in a lot recently because I've been using, I make like a DIY serum. I used to use it on my lashes too before I had extensions. And it's just castor oil. And then it's like supercharged because I put lavender and cedarwood and rosemary essential oil in there. And you guys, it's made such a big difference. My brows are just so much thicker and fuller, and they've actually filled in a lot on their own, which is pretty amazing. Because I've always had really skinny, sparse brows. So, and then at the top, as you can see, I'm just, again, hair-like strokes to fill in the front of my brow, and I'll kind of go like this on the bottom. And I think this brow pomade looks so natural. So I don't stop there because I think this is still a little harsh for me. I'll go back in with that spoolie brush, and I just like to get just the very bottom of my brow to kind of blend this, but I don't want to like do these big strokes all the way up because it will just kind of take off the product that's up top here. I just want to kind of leave that, but I want the bottom to be a little more like blended. So I will just do that. I think it looks even more natural that way, and then I'll just kind of brush through just a little bit in the tail end, and voila. It is seriously crazy the difference a filled in brow makes. I feel like the side of my face is just so much more framed and finished off versus this side still needs that. So I'm just gonna really quickly go in and I follow the exact same steps on this side. I just fill in the bottom portion of my brow, and then I just kind of work my way up to that arch, and then I'll bring it around to the front and do those same just little tiny flicks of the brush, make like little hair-like strokes. Okay, so the final step is some lips. So I get asked all the time on my Instagram what lip color I'm wearing, and I have a little like secret tip I'm gonna share with you guys. Typically I'm never wearing like a lipstick or a lip gloss, but I'm a huge fan of lip liner. And the reason I don't like wearing like a full-on lip product is because I just love wearing chapstick, and I don't like to, I'm like always drinking water. I just don't want to get like lipstick all over everything. I just don't really love wearing lipstick just like on an everyday basis. So what I do is I will put on like a layer of chapstick, and then what I do is I just kind of purse my lips and wipe off the like outside chapstick like this. So my lips are dry on the edges and like are ready to take some product. And then I go in with some lip liner. So this is my favorite lip liner ever. It's by Mineral Fusion, which is another non-toxic brand, and it is in the color Graceful. It is just a really neutral mauve pink color. So I will go and just quickly line my lips. I don't overline or anything like that. Just kind of go along my natural lip line. Okay, so now my lips are lined and they look so much more defined, but then what I'll do is I'll literally just kind of go like this, and it just kind of blends the lip liner into the rest of my lips, but I still have chapstick on, so it's very comfortable. And since it's such a light amount of product, I'm not like getting lip liner over all like the water I'm drinking and everything like that. So I don't know if I'm just weird and that's just me, but that's just what I like to do. However, I'm also going to show you guys if I do put on a lipstick, I have a couple favorites I want to share. So my first favorite, this is more of like my matte go-to. It's like semi-matte, and this is also Mineral Fusion. This is in the color Nude Chair, and it's just a pretty like peachy pink neutral, and I love that one. But then another that I've just been loving for this time of year is this one right here. It is by Savvy Minerals in the color Daydream, and it's kind of the same, not as peachy. It's more of just like a pink neutral, but it has a little bit of a shimmer to it, and it's pretty like on the nude side, and I've just been loving it for summer because it just has like a pretty sheen to it. So I'm gonna put that on so you guys can see. So that's what it looks like. I feel like it just makes your lips look really healthy and plump without having like a, you know, thick gloss on or anything like that. I just really like it, and it's super comfortable. The formula is like really kind of like buttery. It's like really moisturizing. I love it. Okay guys, so that is the final look. That is how I get my pretty much everyday makeup. It is super quick and it doesn't take me a long time at all, but I just feel pulled together and a little bit glam, but it's still very natural, and that is just totally my look. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I have lots of videos here on my channel about non-toxic living, how to get into non-toxic products, and you know, all of like that whole journey that I've been on. It has been one of the best things I've ever decided to do for my life, as well as, you know, my family's life, and it really does make all the difference. There is some scary stuff in our products, you guys, and slowly and gradually switching all of your stuff out over time is so much better than not doing it at all, and your body really will thank you. But that is all I got for today. Again, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video.